What up, Yeti? How you doing? I'm gonna go over your thing in just a second. I'm just gonna let the I'm gonna do the ad thing, and then you know the deal. I'll do all the little quick like early stream setup stuff, and then we'll just jump right into it. Okay? Just give me a second here. My YouTube audio is not coming through. Also, let me know if the music is too loud. It feels like it's kinda loud on my from looking at the audio channels, but I can't really tell. I'd have to play it out. Music's all right. Okay. Mix sounds good. Okay. Okay. What up, Black Knight? How you doing? How's it going, dude? Alright, let me run some ads. You know the deal. How was your 4th of July snack? Pretty mundane, because we don't really do that here. It was nice, I guess. I chilled. I did my thing. I did my hing, you know? How was your 4th of July, Dizzy? That's more important, as an American yourself. Us Canadians don't do anything on 4th of July. Our 4th of July is July 1st, because that's Canada Day. And if you're from Quebec, you do Saint-Jean-Baptiste, which I think is in June. Saint-Jean-Baptiste. I think it's in... I want to say June 26th, but... 24th. Okay, I was a little off. Oh, how was your 4th, Yeti? Just jump straight to the Brit. Probably similar to mine, I would imagine. Okay, the ads are running on Twitch. There's a minute and a half left. I'm gonna go refill my coffee, and then we'll drop the Discord notification and get the show on the road. BRB. You're such a cat snack, and then I get hit with a 2-minute ad immediately after I say that. What can I say? You can't hear me right now, but nothing I say matters because you can't hear me. Such is life. Such is life. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Me. To be fair, I'm not a 4th of July person either. Chilled with Radar in my room with Bob's Burger at full blast. Hell yeah, dude. Ma journée a été chill. J'étais en train de dessiner Oui Oui Je m'amuse. Very nice. Very nice. We love amusing ourselves. That's what she said. Oh, ain't no rest from the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. Bills to pay, I got Alright, let me... How much time do we have left on these ads? 6 seconds. 6, 7. How's it going, Snack? What up, Chia? How you doing? It's going pretty freaking good. I'm good. Alright. Time to drop the Discord notif. And we're off. 3 stream cum streak? 3 stream cum streak? Crazy, dude. You coming in my chat? You gripped up right now, dog? Shit, you got me blushing. Doing alright? Recovering from an injury? Oh no, dude. How bad is it? I've been there, trust me. It took me a very long time to recover from mine. It's getting way better now. I was so doomer about my injury for the longest time. I didn't think it was ever going to heal, and then, you know, it did, so that was nice. I had to really pull off drawing, though. I don't know if you've noticed, the past few months, I've been doing a whole lot less drawing in my own time. I basically come to stream with whatever I did on stream last time. And it's just to mitigate any further damage. What injury? I used to work out a lot, and I fucked up my shoulder like 2-ish years ago. And because of that, you know, I had, yeah, I just had, like, chronic flare-ups in my shoulder for, like, years. Couldn't walk for a few days, but Doc says it's not serious? Okay. Well, as long as it's not serious, you know, just take it easy. He hurt himself kissing the boys too much? Yeah, I blew my shoulder out jerking off your dad. Alright. Today we're going to start stream with a critique, because Yeti posted in our server, she wants some feedback on a couple of her life drawings, or I guess, I don't know if these are life drawings, Yeti, or if they're just like standard illustrations. I assume you use reference and all that stuff, but... Oh my god, can you shut up, Robot Man? Alright, chill songs. Alright, let's zoom out here, let's put Yeti's thing over here. And we got some notes on here, too. So what do we got? We got... Face looks weird. Okay. We got... Whole body looks off. And fuck shoes. Amen, Yeti. Amen. Okay. So, face looks weird. I think it's mostly because of the perspective. This face actually isn't too bad. There's some appeal stuff we could do here, but this face is the one that feels very wonky to me. I don't know if you can see what I'm circling right now. This face feels a lot more wonky to me, Yeti. Oh wait, we can ask for advice? Yeah, in the Discord, we have an art critiques channel. If you post in there, and you're in chat, and I'm live and I'm in the mood, because sometimes I just kind of want to draw my own thing, you know? But if you're in the mood, you're more than welcome to post. Today I'll do maybe 2-3 critiques, and then we'll just get into drawing whatever I want, and then we'll kill the critiques for stream. That's kind of how it works. Like, I'll do a couple crits every day, and then, you know. Oh, I'm joining as fuck. Amen. Okay, that's your reference. Okay. So, one thing to note, Yeti, is typically, if you ever... And I encourage you all to do this, and I'll say this every single time. I encourage you all to do this. If you ever lean on your far arm... I'm going full ADHD because I was about to talk about the face, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But if you ever lean on your far arm, what you'll notice, okay, if I look at this, the shoulder height is relatively the same in perspective here. But what happens typically if you put a lot of weight on one of your arms is that weight is going to shift up through the arm into the shoulder joint here, and you're going to get a mild elevation on the shoulder here. Probably about this much. So your shoulder's going to come up quite a bit, actually. And the shoulder in general, the shoulder socket, like let's say you have a rib cage, so this is just something to note on the rib cage here. The shoulder socket has mobility. It's one of the most mobile joints in the body. That being said, though, it's not like you can't fucking send your shoulder like extending past your ear or whatever. Like that would be crazy. So you got your collarbones here. Let's say I'm just gonna do these simple little bars for the collarbone, and then these circles for the shoulder. So this is like sort of your shoulder in its neutral position. Okay, this shoulder can move roughly upwards from its neutral position. It can move roughly 30 degrees, roughly. Okay, so you can get an elevation to about probably like here-ish. I'm trying to think. If this is 90, that's 90, 45, 30. So roughly, yeah, roughly like that. So you can get a subtle elevation like this on the shoulder. Okay, going up. It's not gonna go crazy. The shoulder going down can't actually go down too much. The reason being you have a rib cage in the way. So if you try and drop your shoulders right now, you'll notice you can't go as far as you can bring them up. So you can go down about a 15-degree angle if you're lowering your shoulder from a neutral position. Okay, so keeping that in mind, we're gonna push the shoulder up here probably as much as we can, which is roughly this height. And then we're gonna sort of just do the same thing. I'm gonna do real gestural stuff here, Yeti. Another thing I would say is maybe bring the torso back a little bit. The reason being is because if you're putting your weight on your shoulder, typically it's going to relieve some of the weight in your spine here. Okay, and so you're going to get more of a curvature in your spine. It's not going to be like fully like curved, but it's going to be a lot less arched. Unless your goal was to stiffen her out a little bit, which is totally fine. But typically if you want a more relaxed, natural, organic gestural pose, I would say just sort of push the torso back a bit. So I'm gonna shift the torso. Why can't I control Z? Oh, it's because I did all this. Okay. I'm gonna shift the torso back to like here roughly. And I'm just gonna do a rib cage real quick. And also, I would say for critiques, just limit it to one thing, guys. I don't want to... Just because sometimes if there's too many, I end up spending too long on one person. It takes up a lot of the stream. So I'm going to cap it at sort of one, just because I see some more coming in now. So just let me know which ones you want me to focus on, if anything. So we'll do the ribcage like this. Okay, pelvis. Pelvis is probably fine. I think she's... My ribcage is either too small or she's kind of too long. But... now what we're going to do is we're going to elevate the shoulder here. Do some cylinders. And notice what I'm doing here is I'm adding a subtle bend. I'm not doing a straight down arm, just because that would feel very stiff. So I always, whenever I can add a curve, I'll add a curve, you know? So I'm adding a little curve here. Do the hand. I get hands are kind of annoying in this perspective, but whatever. We're going to do a little hand here. This arm might be a bit long. The forearm's a bit long looking at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this down a smidge just to balance it out. Now, normally, if you have your head like this, the reason the face feels weird on this Yeti is because it's off-center. So if I look at the chin here, the chin position is here. Okay, the jawbone position's here. If there's another jawbone, it's roughly in here if we were to draw it through. The center of the face, just based on the chin's position, is like here. Or if it's on an angle, it's like here, right? Your eyes are completely off-center. So your eye really should be like here and here, mostly. That's why it feels very weird, just because things aren't lined up. Now, if your goal is to have sort of the head be centered like this, you know, if you don't want to redo the whole face, that's totally fine, but that's just going to change a lot of the proportions on the side here. So if we're going to have this be the central line, if that's your choice, what we're going to do is we're going to have to bring the head back a little bit, and we're going to have to sort of, I think the head's a little too big. There's too much volume on the top here. I know when you tilt your head down, there is more volume on the top of the head. It's totally true. But you do want to be cautious to not overdo it. So something like that. Now that works a little bit better. I'm going to just make the head a little bit bigger. I'm going to shift it over just because we moved the torso back, right? So I'm shifting it over here. So something like that. Just going to reduce the opacity on your lower layer here, just so I can see a little bit clearer. Amazing cylinders. Sup, Mika? Thank you. What up, Mikashi? How you doing, big dog? I got to make sure I'm not ignoring my YouTube chat right now. Luckily, there's no one there, as per usual, so I think we're good. Alright, so that's that. The belly. So the belly, I like to think of the belly whenever I'm drawing a lady, and she's sitting down. I'm going to bring the butt up a little bit. I just feel like the torso is maybe a bit too long, just relative on the proportions here. Okay. Like, the ground plane is basically where her hand is, right? And you've got that there. I'm just repositioning my thing. I just feel like my proportions are a little weird here. So I'm going to bring this down. And then that means I'm going to lower the shoulder, too, just because we have too much elevation on the shoulder here. So something like that. I'm gonna go on YouTube chat just so you need to read. Enjoy being ignored, unintentionally. The reason I ignore YouTube chat is not because I hate YouTube chatters. It's because I use that second monitor for reference and stuff like that. And so sometimes my reference is over top of the chat and I just don't see it. Okay, so I don't really want to listen to whatever. We'll listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers. I didn't realize it was a request. Normally, I've been skipping Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot, not because I don't like the band, just because I've listened to them so much lately. But don't worry, Kasi. Don't worry. I thought it was just my playlist. That's why I was gonna skip it. Yeah. So what was I saying? I was talking about the belly. Yeah, the belly. If a lady's sitting down, normally what I like to do is just add a little pinch here. You know? And I do the pinch sort of at a almost like, I want to say 60-40 ratio. So the bottom bump is going to be like 60% and then the top is going to be 40. So something like this. You know? That feels fine for me usually. You don't have to do it like that. You could do it a little bit more varied, whatever. Okay? Yeah, you better not. Sorry. Now the legs. I'm not looking at your reference right now. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. But the legs, I think, because they're on this surface, are going to come out a little bit more straight. Because there's a bone here, it's hard to get this crazy curve. Just without really hurting yourself. So I'm going to just sort of elevate the leg here a bit. So I'm doing the knee, because I'm just sort of guesstimating where I want the knee to be. Just popped in to say that your avatar is so creative. How it starts drawing when you talk. Thank you. It stops drawing when I talk, actually. And then it starts when I stop talking. See, I'll stop talking right now. And then we go back to talking and... Anyways. Yes, that! Yeah, no worries, dude. I know what you mean. I gotcha. He's just dyslexic? Me? No. I'm not dyslexic. You should stop talking more? Do a jiggle? Shit. Shit, Boba. You know it, dude. You know it be jiggling, dog. Rico from the hood. Thank you for the 8 biddies. You're so special to me, Rico. You're my number 1 right now. Alright. I'm just going to place the knee roughly here. We're going to do a cylinder. I have been blessed again by the presence of the mouse, says Boar's Bone over on YouTube. What up, Boar's Bone? See, I didn't ignore YouTube chat this time. Shindig. Went big. This leg feels. Yeti, thank you for the number 1 biddies. Or biddy singular. Yeti, thank you for the other biddy. Thank you for the other biddy again. I gotta go back to studying now. See ya. Bye-bye, Rico. Have a good time studying. I hope you become a doctor or whatever you're doing. Sending bits on mobile is so ass. Rico from the hood. Welcome in, big dog. Thank you for the follow, big dog. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm not liking the sort of angle here that I'm doing. The most important thing to do when you're doing a cylinder is make sure the front and back of the cylinder line up. You know, if you're doing a sphere, like if you're doing a sphere like this on the top, you kind of want to do something similar and then just connect them. You know, you wouldn't want to do something like this and then something much larger down here. It will look weird. It's not going to be a sphere at that point. Maybe it's an interesting like shape or form or whatever. That kind of looks like an upside down pelvis, but it's not like it's not exactly the cylindrical look that I was going for there. So we're going to do cylinder, knee joint. We're looking below the character, so we're going to have sort of an upturned lower cylinder here. And then another joint here, and then the foot. I'm going to tilt the foot down, just because gravity is going to be pulling the foot down here. So we're going to see a little bit of the top plane of the foot. Other knee joint. So the knees should more or less line up in perspective here. Your perspective's kind of like that. So I'm going to put the other knee here. I will say, Yeti, I would avoid, and I know you know this, and this is not the biggest sin in the world. I feel like it's a little bit worse with arms. But I would typically avoid having the legs be symmetrical, you know? It's just sort of, like, it's not always wrong. But to me, it's just sort of a thing that I try really, really hard to avoid. Boars Bones on YouTube says, by the way, are you a mouse, rat, or hamster? I'm a mouse. I'm a little mousy boy. Now, this other leg, because it's tilting a little bit inwards, I'm gonna change the angle. So instead of having the curve be like this, I'm gonna tilt it subtly. Just like this, because it's coming in. If we want that other foot going over top, we need to rotate that foot a little bit at the joint. So that's what I'm going to do here. And it's going to give us a little bit of asymmetry, which is going to be nice. It's going to be covered up a bit. Actually, it's going to be covering the other leg more than anything. Joint. And then you have it sort of pointing outwards. So I feel like you're going to see the bottom of the plane here. So let me think. That's going to be the angle. That. Something like that, maybe. I don't like that. I don't like that. Just slope it more. Maybe something like that. Whatever. Then the neck. The neck, guys. This is a common mistake. People tend to put the neck in the middle of the head. That's not really where the neck originates from. It's sort of the back half of the head. So if your head looks like this from the profile, you know, your neck is going to be sort of in this back, like half-third region-ish. A lot of people put the neck like in the middle, and it's just very weird. So don't do that. Put it in like the back half, you know? Is the OP here with us? Yeah, the OP's Confetti Yeti. She's like right above you. One of my mods. Is it like a furry thing? Says Boar's Bone. Chat, this is a common misconception as well. I'm not a furry. Okay? I'm a normie, and I'm so normie that I didn't anticipate being called a furry for every single stream I do for 2 years straight. So, I'm not a furry. I've never been into furry stuff. I don't do anthro. I don't draw a lot of anthro stuff. I don't have anything against furry stuff. It's just not really an interest of mine. I just happen to conveniently be a mouse on the internet, so I LARP as a furry. Okay, if we're gonna be accused of being a furry, we might as well get a little clout for it. So all that said, it's stolen valor. I wear the uniform, but I've never served. As his other mod, I can confirm he is a furry. Bro just wants me to gift, dude. It'll never happen. Okay, I'm gonna shift this arm over just because I think there'd be a little bit of overlap on the ribcage here. I think I had it out a bit too much, and it widens her a bit too much. So we're going to throw the neck back here. The neck is going to be really sort of stretched out. And it's going to... do I want to do that, actually? It's going to slope down. No, it's too far in now. It's going to be something like that. Sternocleidomastoid coming down here. Sternocleidomastoid coming down here. Blah, blah, blah. Other shoulder. Her other shoulder's kind of tucked away. I feel like you'd see a little bit of it here. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, that's how I would sort of readdress this pose here. As for the face, like I said, the issue with the face is not so much that it's wrong. It's just that the facial features and the head itself line up with different angles. So the head kind of feels a little bit more front on, whereas the facial features feel a lot more 3/4 down tilted. So if you want it to feel more 3/4 down tilted, you need to show more horizontal length here. So that's where I'll leave it for you, Yeti. And I'll send that to you. That'll be your little feedback sesh. I do want to draw an eye here, just because I like drawing the... Okay, by ignoring me? Wow, that's all it takes, huh? Can't take a little bit of being ignored? It wasn't meant to be, dude. It wasn't meant to be. I got a lot of messages to read. Sometimes I miss stuff, and I'm in the middle of being, doing feedback, so, you know. I can't feel too bad for missing some messages, alright? Don't worry, Let's Bloom. It ain't personal. He's an animator. He got like 26 subs or something. Bloom, don't go. You can talk to me. We can be ignored together. It is the fate of a YouTube chatter, I will say. YouTube chat is a thing I accidentally ignore all the time, so... He hates the YouTube chat? I hate them. Nah, I don't hate the YouTube chat. It's just, they're on my second screen, and I tend to not look at that one very often. Okay, anyways, I'll send you this, Yeti, and I think that's a good spot to leave it. And then we'll jump into the next one very quick. And we got Yetis here. There you go. An anonymous gifter gave Metro Kitty 1985 a tier 1 sub. Crazy, dude. I wonder who that could be. Thank you, anonymous gifter. Alright, jumping into the next one here. I'm gonna clear this off my canvas. Just gotta... So I'm getting too many layers. I'm gonna have to start reorganizing my layers soon. Another anonymous gifter gave NPC Tom a tier 1 sub. Anonymous gifter. Shout out anonymous gifter. Kid named Anonymous. Thank you for the gifted subs, dude. I'm gonna go buy drugs right after this. I'm gonna get fucked up. Thank you. You're supporting my addictions. Oh shit, I'm gonna overdose today, I think. Thank you for the anonymous gift sub again. Gift sub anon person, thank you. I was gonna delete this. I'm getting distracted from all the frickin' gifted subs I'm getting, dude. I'm like a frickin' Twitch streamer or something. It's crazy. Alright, let me look at YouTube chat before everybody gets mad at me. I'm a YouTuber too, small. I do UAV design for my internship. Whoa, your age, are you comfortable to tell? Hey, just for context, guys. We are an 18+ channel, so if you're under the age of 18, you gotta go. You can't be here, okay? I'm getting some underage vibes from some YouTube chatters there. Just, sometimes you could just tell. I'm getting that vibe. So, something to note. It says in the description, I get it, sometimes it's easy to miss, but it is what it is. No minors allowed. Yeah, that's true. We don't like anybody who works in the mining industry. Pugs, not drugs. Okay, next critique. Let's jump into... Nitherin. Nitherin, you with us? That makes it sound like I'm asking if you're alive. Okay, Hey Snow Snack, you can pick between the two I sent. In honesty, if you're going over the ones I sent in, you could choose which one you want to cover. Yes, I am. Okay. Okay. Okay, I drew this, and I don't know how to make it look better. In my opinion, Grimm's eyes kind of look weird, honestly. Who's Grimm? Top one or bottom one? And I don't know how to change your posture and such in this art style. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take the top one, because I think it's got potential. So we're gonna see how we can improve this one. Anonymous gifter again? Was it another anonymous gifter? It was not. It's just a hype train making the exact same noise. Breaking my brain. You said it was hard to draw her chubby in it, honestly. She's my persona. She's the chubby one. Okay, gotcha. Alright. I mean, you know, chubby is just gonna be softer curvatures on the arm and stuff. So you're still gonna like, oh my god, guys, what is going on? Anonymous gifter, you're making me ball out right now. I don't know what to do with all this freaking money. Thank you so much, anonymous gifter. Insane, dude. Level 3 hype train. That's probably the most I've ever gotten on this channel, I think. At first, when drawing it, the bottom looked like a femboy, but I was trying to draw Yuri at the request of my cousin. Okay, Yuri is, like gay manga, right? Or is that yaoi? Which one's which? I think yaoi's gay manga. Yuri is it lesbian manga? It must be. These look like ladies. Yuri's lesbian. Gotcha. Okay. The eye feels a little weird to me. Okay, so we'll just jump into a couple things. So the first thing is this eye feels weird. The reason it feels weird, it's well, in part eye direction, pupil size, and value. Okay, so if I'm looking here, I'll do this on a new layer. Let's circle the pupil here. So we're gonna do something like this is roughly the size of that pupil. Let me overlay it on top of the other pupil just so you see how much bigger it is. So you can see the other pupil, if I put it right next to it, is much smaller. So if I switch to blue here, it's much smaller. But the issue here is that this is the far eye. Iris. Yes, sorry, not pupil, iris. You're right. I should use the proper technical terms. Also, welcome in, Sticky Club. How you doing, big dog? Young Khan, what up, homie? How's it going? Yeah, that was my problem with hers. Her eye was because I couldn't get the right size for my brush on the iris. Okay. Yeah, so that's fair. I would just say reduce the brush opacity. But yeah, so usually if you're doing a 3/4 pose, like the irises are going to be roughly the same proportion. Unless it's like there's some crazy perspective stuff going on. But just try and watch that, you know? You kind of want to make sure it's not going to have the same vertical proportion. If you're doing a really 3/4 thing, this is very pixely. I'm going to make all this bigger. It feels very small. If you're doing like a 3/4 thing, what's going to happen is the far eye is going to get some compression because it's turning away from us. So the close eye might have a certain width to it, right? This is not an eyebrow, it's an arrow determining the width. But the far eye is going to be a lot more compressed. So you're going to get the same height. The height is going to be the same. I'll do the height in red just so you can tell. Whatever's in red is the same, okay? So the height is the same, but the width is going to be a lot more narrow. And that's going to be the same thing with the iris. Okay, so the height's going to be the same, but the width is going to be a little bit more narrow. And so that'll feel a little bit more proportional. So I'm just going to go over this real quick. Also, eye direction. Where do you want her to look? I guess that'll be my question. What's your intent with this piece? Where do you want her to look? Is she looking off camera? Is she looking at the camera? Is she looking down at the person below her? What's the intention? She's compressing her cheek here, it looks like. So my intention, or my assumption is that she's straining to push her gaze down, right? If you're compressing your cheek into someone, you're probably trying to look down in that direction or, you know, in that angle in some way. Same, what up, dude? How's it going? Hey, yo, Anon Santa gifted me a sub. Anon Santa gifted a lot of people subs, dude. We were getting straight showered on with gifted subs like a few minutes ago. Mouseman drew the Yuri. I did not draw this. This is drawn by Nitherin, who's a chatter in our community here. I'm giving them feedback. Hossie, thank you for the gifted sub, dude. Guys, you don't have to gift me nothing. I do this for the love of the game, all right? I'll take the money. I'll take the money to treat all of my addictions and vices, okay? I'm going straight to the strip club with all these gifted subs right after stream, so thank you for that. She's looking down at the bottom person. Also, that's her pupil, by the way. And no, her face is supposed to be smushed against the bottom head, but I failed to draw it properly. Okay, if she's looking down, what I would say is I would lower the upper eyelid just a little bit. So I feel like there's a reflexive thing that, like, the human eyeball does. If you're looking down at something, typically your eyelid sort of droops a little bit as well. So you'll get, like, a little bit of a drop to the eyelid, in my experience. Maybe you could definitely look down while keeping your eyelids open, but that feels unnatural, in my opinion. When I look down, I feel like my eyelids drop just subtly. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that, you know, the iris is really, or the iris is really showing, like it's mostly focused underneath the bottom lid here. The pupil is going to be almost tangenting the bottom, or at least sort of like cut off there. So I would do something like this. If she's looking, she's going to be looking down on an angle. So I'll do... Mouse Man, are you related to Mickey Mouse by any chance? He's a distant cousin, but we don't really talk to him anymore. Snack, will you crit my drawing? Maybe. There's a lot in the queue right now. If there's more that come up, then I'll... You know what? Throw it in there and then I'll call it. That'll be the last one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower the lid. And I feel like, I think I need to move the iris over just a bit more. And I'm going to move it just so there's a bit more scleral show on this side. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a very, very subtle... Can you shut up, dude? I'm talking. I'm going to add a little subtle curve just below where the pupil is. I keep saying the pupil, but it's the iris. I'm going to keep doing that all stream, so just make a mental note of that. The reason being is because the eye is not perfectly round. The eye has a little bit of a mass to it. It's kind of like a titty, a little bit. It's not exactly, but it does stick out. Like, it has like a little nipple here on the... I think it's called the cornea. But it sticks out. Okay, and because of that, whenever it's pushing down on an eyelid, or looking down, what it's going to do is it's going to cause an apex on the bottom eyelid here. An apex is just a peak on a curve, okay? And so if you're looking down at something, you're going to sort of push into that bottom lid. The eyes are the nipples to the face, exactly. I want something new to get me through this. Baby, baby. Oh yes, my phone on 3% battery. My time has come too soon. Be back next stream. Peace out, Boars Bones. I appreciate you popping in. Glad I could read your messages. I can't talk today. Scribbles down, eye nipple. Yeah, it's really, really subtle. Honestly, if you're doing like an anime style, or you're doing something a little bit more like non-realistic, you could just kind of ignore this advice. It's really like over-the-top subtlety. I don't think you need to get really, really nitpicky with shit like this. But I do think there is value in it, especially if you're trying to convey eye direction. In my opinion, I think it helps sell the eye direction a little bit more. To get me through this, baby. I'm gonna lower the lid just a little bit more. What I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna just add like a little wrinkle up here. Just cause like I'm lowering the lid, but I still want to show the volume of the eyeball here just subtly. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Another thing is I think you kind of... do you have too much space here? I don't know. My instinct is that this would be a little bit closer. What we can also do if we want to indicate eye direction is just sort of shift the face down a little bit and show. We're going to show a bit more forehead. We're going to get a bit more compression through the features on the bottom. Remember, if you rotate your head down, so let's say you have. Oh my God, where's my brush doing right now? Oh, it's because I'm lasso tooling. If you move your head down, like if you have a neutral head here. And let's say your facial proportions are kind of like this. You got eyeball, you got nose. It's a very fucked up nose, but you do have a nose. Okay? Just pretend the nose is well drawn. And you got a mouth. What happens is you have these sort of regions on the face, and if you tilt your head down, these regions' proportions sort of shift a little bit. So you're going to get a little bit more compression in the features of the nose and mouth in particular. Basically, the closer it is to the chin, the more those proportions are going, or those features are going to get closer to each other. So if you have like a face like this, maybe now it's going to be a little bit more like this. You're not going to get a dramatic change in the top of the head, but you might get enough that you can see a little bit more verticality on the top plane of the head here. So if his hairline's like this on this one, you know, maybe on this other one, there's a little bit more top of the head there. The eyes are going to get a little bit closer to the brows. Obviously, this isn't a neutral expression. If he's raising his eyebrows or something, there's going to be variation there. You're going to get a more... I don't know if the word is obtuse. I don't know. More of a curve on the nose here. So instead of having the nose be flat like that, it might be a little bit more pointed like this. And that's going to sell a lot of these proportions. The mouth is going to get a bit closer. Notice how the range between the nose and the mouth here has shrunk. It's just going to sell the angle a bit more. And then elevating the ears is going to help sell that even better. So all these little things you can sort of apply to sell the downward tilt. Granted, I don't want it to be super dramatic in this one, or I don't think you should make it super dramatic. I just realized I'm drawing on your thing. Or am I just selecting your thing? Okay, I'm just selecting your thing. I'm just gonna lower it a bit. And I'm actually not going to change too much. I might change the nose here. I think the eyes sell it enough. We're still looking below this character. For the cheek, I'm just going to do a little... I'm not going to connect this line here. I kind of want it to be a little bit more abstract. That's sort of how I would do it. You don't have to do it that way. But I just want to show that the skull is sort of pushing in, and then we've got sort of this mass of tissue and fat just sort of pushing up a little bit. Mouth, I think, is fine. I do kind of like, I like what you're doing with the cheek here. I would do something similar personally, so... I think you're missing a lot of detail sort of in the neck collarbone region, and like it's very empty, and it leaves a bit too much to imagination. Like it's hard to know what angle her body's rotated at, you know, all that stuff. I think because she's tilting her head down, we're probably going to have a little bit less space between the base of the chin and the collarbone. So I'm going to bring the collarbone a little bit higher than I would expect, which I think is also going to cause the shoulder to elevate as well. Because the collarbone leads into sort of the shoulder or the deltoid attachments, you're going to probably have the shoulder come up. Right now it feels a little dislocated. One thing to note, and we talked about it earlier, and I think you were there for this, the shoulder doesn't have, it's a very mobile joint, but it doesn't have the craziest degree of mobility. Also, Glad, thank you for the 14 months, dude. So again, I'm just going to repeat this real quick. I went over it on Yeti's feedback session, but essentially, you know, if you've got your collarbone here and your shoulders are at neutral, let's say, they have an upward elevation of roughly 30 degrees before they get stuck, unless you're like hypermobile or something like that. And then on the descent, they basically have half of that, so they have a 15-degree drop. So you're not going to get a lot of a drop on your shoulder. Just because if you do, it'll hit the rib cage. There's bones in the way. It's just not going to work very well. So I'm going to bring this shoulder up a little bit to like here, roughly. And then I'm going to, you know, just... I'm going to add a little bit of a curve here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the arm in. The reason I'm bringing the arm in is just because I think right now, if I look at yours, it's a straight line. And it serves a really good... it's a good line that serves to lead the eye to the face. But I think what we could do is we could actually frame both of the characters a little bit better by curving this arm a bit. So now it leads up to the face through the shoulder, right, visually. But we also have it sort of framing the bottom character, so you can kind of have like a natural organic loop into this other arm here, and then your eye gets in this sort of pattern of circling these two faces as the focal point. So that would be my advice. Take it or leave it, really, but I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna lower this a little bit more, and then something like that. You said she's chubby, so what I would do, she's got like this bubbly, frilly top or whatever. This isn't feedback on the top, but normally if you've got like extra fat, you're probably going to get some compression around the breast here because the breast has a lot of fat, so you're gonna get some compression here and on the armpit as well. So that's something that I would add in, and I feel like it's gonna sort of sell a little bit of the mass there. The collarbone, she's not super duper muscular. She's not going to be super duper toned, but I'm still going to do a little bit of an indication that she has a neck here. Just because I feel like it'll sell a little bit, it'll just look a little bit more anatomically correct. She's a Selkie, so I tried drawing seal floof. Okay. I don't know what that is, but I assume it's some sort of seal hybrid creature thing. Is that what a Selkie is? I'm going to show a little bit of the bottom plane here, too. Just because, like I said, we're looking at her from the bottom, so you're going to see a tiny bit of that plane. And I think that's it for the face and the arm. I think everything else is kind of fine. I'm going to show overlap here on this floof stuff. And have the arm sort of come out from there. You get a bit more of like a bit more of a shape like this when you have fat, especially if it's compressed against the body like this. This arm feels a little wonky to me. You've got like real big, she's got like some big guns here, dude. This girl's entering the IFBB Pro competition very soon. So I'm gonna tone that down a little bit and just streamline that anatomy just a teeny little bit. So she looks leaner to me. That's my guess here. So I'm gonna just do something like this. She's still got a tricep. We'll give her some mass. She's not just skin and bones, but we'll give her some mass here. I'll do something like that. Does she have 6 fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thumb. If the thumb's back there, then probably 6. It looks like, but. Selkies are mythical shapeshifters from Celtic and Norse folklore, primarily Scottish and Irish. They resemble seals in the water, but can shed their skin to become human on land. Okay, it's like a mermaid almost, basically, like a seal maid. The back, I think, is also a little bit too large. I don't like hard angles. If you're doing really soft characters, try and avoid these hard changes of direction. It just sort of, it's a little harsh visually. Not a mermaid. My bad. The back here is going to be an extension of the spine, so I'm just going to curve it like that. And I think that's fine for the back. And I think that's it, really. I don't know. I think this is her boob. It seems a little bit strangely positioned to me. I'm just going to have it compress against her body like this. Depending on the size of her boobs, obviously. But you would get some sort of, like, compression. Again, it's fat. And if you take fat and you push against it, it's going to shove all of the mass in whatever direction it can go around that thing. Like, if I take... Like, let's say this is a mysterious fat pad of some sort, and I drop a weight right in the middle of it, you're gonna get compression on either side of that weight. So it's gonna do something like this, depending on how it works with gravity. So you're gonna get a little bit of a volume shift. Can you shut up? I wish I could disable this stupid AI, dude. Mine are pure steel, personally. Damn. Industrial titties, dude. Crazy. Youch! I mean, just, ladies, this could also be a nut, okay? Fellas, I'm sorry, but we gotta... We're woke here, alright? We do a diverse style. Me boob. SpongeBob me boob. Alright, anyways. Okay. Whenever I typo, and this is like the worst, okay? If ever I typo, and I say me instead of my, it's like it's the typo that I hate the most. Especially if you've ever, you've ever had like spicy text with an intimate partner, let's say, and you accidentally, like, in the middle of it, say me instead of my. I just feel like Mr. Krabs every time. It fucking ruins. I hate it. It's like the fucking worst typo ever. Check out me hard cock, SpongeBob me boy. Alright, anyways, I'm done. Back to this. It just sounds weird sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, Netherin, I think that covers quite a bit of it. I don't have any issues with this face. Again, though, I would just say iris sizes very different here. This one is closer. And it's a 3/4 face, so the compression would be on this side, which means the horizontal width on that iris is going to be always smaller than the one that's closer to us. You know? If you're doing 3/4 eyes, again, I'm just going to do it here real quick. You know, if this is your eye on one side, and then you compress it on a 3/4 side, you're going to get compression. You're going to have the same height, but you're going to get, like, a horizontal compression. So watch out for that. I'm going to put a big red X there, just so that you could correct that. I don't need to draw over it, you kind of get it. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's it. Wait, did I fix the ears since last time? They don't look weird this time. I think the ears are fine, personally. I would get rid of... This, I think, is, like, the chin here. I would get rid of that. I don't know if it's, like, the chin or, like, hair coming out of here. If it's hair, I would make it a little clearer. I would just have it originate from back there. But it feels like it's a continuation of the jaw, and that would be a very long jaw. So I would just... Whatever this line is, I would get rid of. No, that's hair? Okay. Well, I would just make it a little clearer. But yeah, so those are sort of the major fixes that I would add. So we went from that to that. We elevated the shoulder. Also, by elevating the shoulder, you're getting a nicer, like, flow into the face through that collarbone and the shoulder line. Mayne! Oh my god. How you doing, Mayne? It's been a minute. How's it going? I've seen you've been streaming again. How's life been? For those who don't know, Mayne is a streamer here on Twitch. They're a fantastic artist. You should check them out. Especially if you're not getting your furry fix from me, because I'm a fake furry. Like I said, it's all stolen valor. I'm not a real furry. I just wear the uniform. If you want a real one, go see Mayne. Presumably. I assume you're a real furry. I feel like you draw a lot of anthro things. So if that's your cup of tea, chat, which I know a lot of you it is, Mayne's the streamer for you. It has been a while. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? Let me give you a little shout out real quick. Shout out Mayne. And with that, if you want to share anything that you've been working on, Mayne, go for it. Right now we're just doing some chatter feedback, so we're going to be doing that probably for the next half hour, I want to say. And then we're going to jump into continuing our little vampiric man over here that I've tweaked a little bit since the last stream. Because I couldn't help myself last night, but... I've been struggling a bit with some health issues, but I'm hanging in there. Well, look, you know, it's, streaming's, for a lot of people, myself included, is a hobby. Don't, like, feel like you need to demolish yourself or destroy yourself in the process. Sometimes it's worth taking some time. Anyways, man, if you want to share anything, you know the deal. Link it up, homie. Wonderful art, thank you. This isn't actually my art. This is a drawing done by Nitherin, which is one of our chatters here. A really nice piece. And, yeah, that's That's it. We're just doing some drawers. So the blue line is my stuff, but... I just made a comic on stream, so I could share that. I could put it in your Discord. Yeah, that'd be great. Go for it. With this, Nitherin, I'm gonna share this in the Discord, in the critiques channel. We'll move on to the next critique, which is Xiaomi. Xiaomi, you still with us? As in alive and breathing? Oh, you know what? I think... I'm gonna flip it just because... Brand new whip. You know. Alright, I gotta also look at YouTube chat just to make sure nobody's freaking out that I'm ignoring them right now. Nope, we're good. Alright, back to biz. Mayday, let me know. Actually, I see you typing. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let me pull it up. Copy image. Paste image. This is what Mayonnaise has been working on. Surprise in a brand new whip. Not alive, but I am. Check this out. Doing laundry while drowsy in the morning. 2 hours later. Alright, I gotta pee. Be right back. Oh my god, dude. I feel like that's a... Did that happen to you? The concept of, like, my washing machine just flooding terrifies me. Because all my floors are, like, hardwood. So they would just, like, swell up. My entire apartment would be fucked. Genuinely happened to me 4 times recently. Damn. 4 times? Yeah, that's crazy. Do a jiggle? Shit, Xiaomi. You know it, dude. You know it be jiggling, dog. That shit bouncing crazy style. An anonymous gifter gave 0 miss. 16, a tier 1 sub. Anonymous gifter. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Why do we keep getting anonymous gifters today? It's crazy. It's like, what? 10 in the last, like, 50 minutes? Insane. Chat, stop. I'm gonna have to give all my money to the strippers tonight. Stop. You're making me... I'm going to the club. We're gonna get turned, dude. But yeah, Mayday, this looks dope. If you want to share any links, and to me... Are you a stripper? I know your name's Trinity, which is pretty damn close to a stripper name, but... Mayday, if you want to share any links, go for it, dude. Whatever you got. Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, I don't know. Right. The drain hose thingy keeps falling out of the pipe, and the pipe is leaking, so I keep fucking it up and forgetting to put it in the shower instead of the pipe. Ah, okay, yeah, I get you. My dishwasher did that before. It's still broken. Enjoy yourself snack at the strip club. I've never actually been to a strip club, chat. Girls scare me, dude. They freak me out. I don't do that stuff. Married to the Lord, baby. Sure. No, genuinely, I've never been to a strip club. If you're interested in my actual comic, oh hell yeah. Chat, you know what to do. Go check their shit out. And with that, Mayday, yeah, self-promo all the way, dude. We're gonna move on to I'm gonna move your thing up here with the other Raiders stuff. We didn't get raided by Sonic, but I just felt represented by Beer Belly Sonic, so that's why he's up here. But these are some of our previous Raiders. Oh, I didn't actually put Trin's name here. Is that how I spell your name? It sure is. And then we got Mayday. How do I spell your name? May. Perfect. There you go. These names are backwards. Bun Bun Dango's name is backwards, but you know, whatever. It's fine. My shit is huge. It's genetics, dude. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't brag, but, you know. Oh, you mean you're... Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. What was I gonna do? Next critique. So we have... Who's next on the docket? It was, Xiaomi, I think. I'm trying to clear out the other stuff. Just because I'm gonna work in this corner here. Let's delete this. That was very funny, Snack. Are you slapping your knee right now, dude? Alright, this is gonna be our last critique for the day. I don't know if Harem Time actually wanted a critique. Harem Time, I said I would give you one. So if you want one, you know, you're fair game, but after that I'm cutting it off. Just because I wanna draw. I wanna get back to drawing. Alright. Let's see how freaking big this thing is. Where'd it go? Okay, it's not that big. Excellent. Alright, tell me a little bit about this. Boo, what about mine? Did you post something? You didn't post it. Am I tripping? Made you look? Alright. Alright, you're banned. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta say that because my mods will just insta-ban people. They love pulling the trigger, dude. Alright. So tell me a little bit about this, Xiaomi. What's the idea here? What are we going for? It's presumably an alien. In a zesty pose. Aliens got no bush? Thank God. I don't know if I can handle more hairy genitalia on my stream today. Yeah, it's my persona. Okay. Based. Alien persona. That's unique. I like that. I fucks with it. Alright, let's reduce the opacity here. New layer. We're gonna draw over top. Your shit's green, so we're gonna go red. I just wanted to practice anatomy and lighting. Okay. If that's the case, I'm liking some stuff down here in the hips. I have some issues with some stuff up here in the torso. Specifically, sort of the chest anatomy. It feels very odd to me. It feels almost ribcagey. You know, like I feel like this is how the ribcage would look if I were to draw it from this perspective. You know what I mean? But that's not where the chest anatomy would work. So the chest, if I draw a ribcage here, the chest attachment points, I'm gonna have to actually jog my memory. I don't know if I remember all of the chest attachment points right now. But you've got the collarbone here. And I believe the chest attaches about midway on the collarbone. And then it attaches also on the humerus bone, which is the upper arm bone here. And it attaches in the upper half, I believe. So you kind of get this thing going on here. And then it attaches to the sternum, I believe, or the rib cage. This is not usually as obvious, so it'd be something like this. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the attachments. Maybe Google it, but... And because of that, okay, it also attaches roughly midway up the rib cage, I believe. And then the abs would sort of be like this or whatever. Anyways. So in this case, if we're drawing the rib cage, even if we want to do like a long, sort of lanky character, we could totally do that. We're gonna tweak our proportions a little bit. So I'm gonna do the rib cage based off of your perspective that you're rocking with here. So the chest would actually be probably more like this. So it'd be up here, more or less. So if this is the collarbone here, probably be more like this. And then if this arm is out, you're probably going to get some sort of compression on the chest here. So it'd be kind of like that, a little bit more. Hey Snacko, what up Dally? How you doing? The hand and the torso feel off. The hand is a little off. The torso is also very off. The reason being your shoulder is just too compressed into the ribcage. Your shoulder would be out a little bit more. Your deltoid muscle attaches roughly midway down the humerus bone, so you're going to have sort of an attachment like this. The bicep... Fuck, where does the bicep attach? I want to say it's the humerus bone, and then one of the lower arm bones, like either the radial bone or the ulnar bone. Can't remember, though. Anyways, it's not super important. How jacked is this guy? Are we doing... Is he Twinkie? Is he... Does he look like Chris Bumstead? Is he like a Mr. Olympia type dude? He's obviously not, but... Very Twinkie. Okay, so I'm going to tone down the muscle anatomy then. So we're just going to sleek this out a bit. I'm going to still do the anatomy. I can smooth things out after. Your deltoid kind of attaches up in here, also on the clavicle. And he's a very lanky fella, so we're gonna make him long. Your forearm muscle attaches roughly just below the brachialis up here. And then the other forearm muscle kind of attaches a little bit lower here. It's kind of a long forearm muscle, actually. It's always the shoulder. Yeah, man. The shoulder, I feel like, is a very common area to make a mistake in. The reason being is it's so dynamic. It's one of the most dynamic joints in the human body, right? And because there's so many variations of where it can be positioned, it's very hard to wrap your brain around how it moves, where it moves, all that stuff, right? We're getting very scientific with these terms. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I shouldn't have said brachialis. Brachialis is just a tiny little muscle. It's kind of tiny. It's just covered by the bicep mostly, but I think it wraps around the humerus like this. You only really see this bit here usually. So guys, if ever you're in the gym and you want to make your bicep look bigger, train your brachialis because it's underneath the bicep, and if you grow it, it'll push the bicep up. So it'll make it look larger, even if it's not. Just a little thing to keep in mind. Anyways. See? I don't like the way I did that. It looks very wonky. Start lifting boulders for fun? Exactly. I mean, my process while drawing is just like make the silhouette and then draw the lines. Yeah, the issue with that, and that totally works. That's an approach. I know a lot of concept artists are a big fan of doing like silhouette work. And that's not a wrong way to do things, but I think you want to sort of have the silhouette work in a way where you're not sort of forcing things in a spot that it doesn't work with the lines, you know? Anyways, I'm not going to go too crazy with that. That arm feels very weird to me. I'll tweak it after. But I do want to get into this attachment here. So I think you've got a weird thing going on with the hip. So the hip wouldn't come out there. I mean, I guess it would, but the hip peak, in my opinion, would probably be like here-ish. So this would be sort of one side of the hip. And then this would be the other side of the hip. And I'm just looking at the perspective here because we've got a tilt. Probably come up to like here. And so I would make the bump here. I would have it curve in like that. And then I would just extend this down like that. That's what I would do. The leg here. I mean, we're not going to draw the leg too much just because you're not really... It's cropped, so there's no point in really worrying about the leg. But I think this would make a lot more sense to me. Now, he is kind of off balance. I feel like this leg would have to come back a bit to catch his weight. Just because if it doesn't, he's going to fall. Just because he's really, really far back. But, yeah. Because I low-key use the lasso. That's not a bad approach. Lots of artists draw like that. Hello, Bill K over on YouTube. How you doing, big dog? I'm going to tweak this arm. It pisses me off how it looks right now. So another issue I'm seeing here is you notice how your arm is kind of curving down like that? Your muscles are attached to a bone, so it's gonna be more or less like everything's kind of gonna be in line with that bone. You know, you can't really shift your bones too much. This is a really tough one. I'm going to attempt to draw this without reference, but I'm gonna be honest, perspective like this, very, very, very important to use reference. So this is gonna be probably really fucked up looking, just because I'm doing it from imagination, but I would recommend taking a photo of yourself or something if you're gonna do some crazy perspective shit like this. This hand is very, very big. I would say you can make them sort of lanky. This is really tough to do. Let me see. How would I do this without reference? Beeba doobie. Also, I think the curvature on the knuckles would be a little bit more extreme. I did do this without a reference. That's your mistake, dude. You gotta have reference if you're doing hands and shit like that in like crazy, like, foreshortened angles. It's just, it has to be a law. If you guys want to improve at art, it has to be like, this has to be law in your brain. If you're doing stuff that's like really complex, you need reference. Or if it's something that's out of your like wheelhouse where you don't have a lot of comfort doing it, reference. Reference is like, I'm gonna preach this like I'm some sort of like evangelical missionary. You need to use reference. Use PureRef, dude. Yeah, or Pinterest or whatever. I gotta use refs more as well. I'm trying to think how the fuck I would do this. I'm looking at my hand right now. I gotta look at my hand. Okay, so I'd probably have... The angle's kind of weird here. I'm right now just doing the big shapes. I'm not gonna draw this whole thing out for you, but I'm just sort of just giving you an idea of how I would approach it, you know? Fuck. Anyways, I would do probably something like this, I think. If I was just quickly just looking at my hand, sketching it over. Depends how foreshortened you want it to be. Oh shit. Miguel the Werewolf. How you doing, big dog? Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, welcome in. PureRef is an empty board platform that you drag all your references onto. You don't actually get them from there. Yeah, I had some colleagues that used PureRef when I worked in animation. I just build my own like Pinterest boards because I'm crazy. But just because I've been building them for so long. But Snack, you have to howl. Oh, my bad, my bad. How's it going, Miguel the Werewolf? What do we got? We got Miguel. Let's get a little shout out to Miguel the Werewolf. So many letters. Hopefully I did that right. Last category, art. Oh shit. Ooh, she. You want to share anything, Miguel? What are you working on? And then the last thing I'll say, Xiaomi, is typically, because your guy's like a very, and then, well, Miguel, I'm doing good, dude. We're doing a chatter feedback right now. This is gonna be probably one of our last ones, I think. Unless somebody snuck in there after I said no more. No, we're good. That'll be the last one. And whatever you want to share, go ahead and drop a link or whatever. Nothing uploaded yet, but I could toss a Discord link. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. And I'm just gonna give one last little piece of advice to Xiaomi here. One thing I would say, Xiaomi, I try and keep my shape language consistent. So if I have a character who's long and slender, you know, like this is his head, he's got a very long nose, whatever, okay? I'm probably going to make the rest of him also be very long. I'm gonna elongate a lot of my features and stuff, right? Just something, this is just sort of like character design 101 a little bit. A lot of people will, it's a shape language, you know? If you've determined that you want to make your character like lanky, I would do that. So the reason I'm saying that is just because it feels like there's a lot of, he feels short and stocky in the head. And I feel like that could be fine, but you know what I would do? I would just lengthen it lengthwise. Or something like that. If you want to do something, like a little twist on that. That's enough. Like, you don't have to make his head long, because it's obviously an alien with a round head. But you can push it this way, maybe. Just an option. You don't have to do this. If you're in love with the way that your guy looks, don't listen to me on this one. This is just some stylistic advice, which is always a little subjective. But just something that I would think about, you know? I'm gonna actually make him a little bit more front on here. He's based off of plushie. I'll consider it, though. Alright. And with that, that's probably all the feedback I got for you. That's what I would tweak, you know? So hopefully that helps. Alright, what do we got? We got a big fat purple link here. Let's take a little looky-poo. Mayne, I gotta go to sleep now. Wish I could stay longer, but I need to rest. Hey, do your thing, Mayne. I appreciate you. Thank you for the raid, alright? Groose art fight? Ooh, shit. This is nice, dude. I dig it. Check this out. I'm gonna clear this guy out here real quick, and then delete. I'm gonna put you up in the feedback area. We got, who do we got here? Miguel the Werewolf. Miguel the Werewolf, are you gonna watch Werewolf? The new Robert Eggers movie? Looks sick, dude. Werewolf. It's just a colored sketch, but I had fun with it. That's sick. I'm trying to, like, figure out what kind of bird it is. My guess is eagle, but they're green. Holy shit, I can't wait for it. Yeah, me too, dude. Anything Robert Eggers does, honestly, he's probably one of my favorite directors these days. I really fucking love Robert Eggers. I love The Witch. I know that one's like a controversial one. People are like, eh, whatever. I liked it. I liked that it had like a slow build up. I like shit like that. The Vavitch. Hi, Cat Snack. Hi, Raid27. How you doing? I've seen The Witch like 7 times. What? That's a lot. Damn. It's a really good movie. It's also like very slept on. Anyways, it's, yeah, I love Robert Eggers. I think his weakest film, in my opinion, this is also gonna trigger the fuck out of everybody, is probably The Lighthouse. I liked it. I really like the acting by Willem Dafoe in it. Like, he's fantastic as like a crazy lighthouse guy. But it's just like, it was alright. What about The Northman? I really like The Northman. Northman was very good. Nosferatu is my favorite. You see, I like Nosferatu. The one thing I'll say about Nosferatu is it felt... Oh, it's a goose. Their intro frog crane combo. Oh, sick, dude. Well, look, Miguel, if you want to share any links to where people could find your work, go ahead, drop them in. This is your time, dude. It's all yours. Sorry, I got full ADHD there. I was going to say, my issue with Nosferatu is not the movie itself. I like the movie. I found it, like... I don't know why. Maybe I'm just, like, snooty. But I feel like it lost... It felt like more mainstream to me. Or more like Hollywood to me, a little bit. Like, it was a really, really, really good movie, but I kind of like that sort of indie feel. Like, I like when shit's a little, like, rough around the edges, you know, props or whatever. Not that, like, I guess Nosferatu, I don't know. I like Nosferatu, I just kind of it felt a little bit more... Mainstream's not the right word, but it kind of is. It just felt a little bit more Oh, shut up. No, this is my stream. I'm the dictator here, okay? I speak as I please. You make me sick. Okay, we're getting a lot of follows. Let me give a little love to my followers platonically. Iridia Star Cluster, thank you for the follow. Miguel the Werewolf, thank you for the follow. Anal Idically, thank you for the follow. Nate Arts, thank you for the follow. And Rico from the Hood, we thanked him earlier. I think we're good. By the way, I know your name is Analytically. I can't help myself sometimes. Sorry. To be fair, Bella Lugosi and Vampire Exploitation is OG Hollywood core. You can't do it any other way. I don't know what that means, Damon. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, no more critiques. Now I want to draw. I want to do my little vampy boy. Speaking of Rogers Eggers. Speaking of Robert Eggers, or Robert, whatever his fucking name is, we're doing vampy boy. I gave him a cape. I figured a cape would be nice. I just felt like he was a little bland in his positioning and a little bit too much like other stuff I've done. So I'm trying to push, and I'm doing a cape, and we'll do a cape. I'm cape maxing. I really wish my last name was something silly like Eggers. Robs my Eggos. What about Farter? I knew a guy in high school. His name was not Farters, but it was Seaman. And that was a rough one for him, I would imagine. Okay, I'm drawing on the wrong layer right now. I gotta go... What layer am I drawing on? This one! This is the right layer. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate this, because I'm gonna start doing a little bit of cleanup. But I just want to make sure I have a checkpoint to go back to if I need to. I'm doing well, how are you? Eastern European? My boy Seaman? I don't know. I've never actually spoken to him. I just knew his last name was Seaman. He seemed like a white boy, so possibly. But we're Canadian, so... I'm good, but I want to ask you something. So I have a YouTube channel, but you've always been a messy creator. I've made gaming videos, but I'm no expert. I'm scared I'm going to say the wrong thing with content and stuff. When you say messy creator, you just mean like I just have no filter? I mean, I guess, look, it depends. It depends on your sensibilities as a creator, right? If you're somebody who's very prone to getting anxious and being really concerned about what people watch you think about you, I would recommend being a little bit more filtered with sort of how you speak. Maybe they typoed I've as you've. Oh, maybe. So I've always been a messy creator. I've made gaming videos, but I'm no expert. I'm scared I'm going to say the wrong thing with content and stuff. Yeah, I mean, around the language stuff, I do think it depends on the person. Like, I have friends who are streamers, and sometimes, you know, I think okay, here's my thing with Twitch. There is a risk that if you are too concerned about not offending people in your chat, and this is a much more difficult thing when you start out because you have a much smaller viewership, so every chatter matters a lot more, okay? Every viewer matters a lot more. If you've got 5 people watching you, and you piss one off, okay, that's 20% of your audience gone. That's a lot, okay? Granted, you have 5 chatters, so it doesn't really make a big deal. It's not a big deal. I think you should just do you, you know? When you grow bigger, you don't have to pull punches as much, just because, you know, I think people who wanna see you be authentic are gonna stick around, and then, you know, you're gonna always have churn in a community. You're always going to lose viewers. You're always going to like gain new viewers. The people that watch me this year are gonna be different than the people that watched me last year. Some are gonna stick around, some are gonna leave. That's just sort of the biz, you know? That's the nature of the game. The risk with trying to appeal to everybody in your community is that you're gonna end up in a scenario where you feel like you're walking on eggshells and you're not gonna enjoy streaming as much. Sometimes I'm a bit of a dickhead to chatters, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't care. I really, like, this is sort of my thing, and if people don't like it, they can leave, you know? Just click the big shiny X at the top tab, And you can go find somebody who's a little bit more of your speed. That's the beauty of the internet. You can go find your echo chamber, you know? So I tend to be a little bit more, I'll say, diverse with topics and language and all that stuff, and I don't pull punches as much. There's stuff I try to avoid. There's obviously things like politics I try to avoid, mostly because there's just too many opinions, and it's a very, like, heated thing that is going to devolve into fights almost 90% of the time, you know? So it's just not worth it. It just kills the vibe. I try and avoid moody shit. Like, if people come in here and they're like, man, my friggin' family just got, like, murdered, like, and then they went over to my grandpa's house and murdered him, and I'm just so sad. The reality is, you know, it's tough to handle as a streamer trauma dumps and shit like that, because you basically have two options. Option one is you go, well, that sucks, dude, and then you move on to another topic, you know, and you kind of, like, acknowledge and move on and try not to dwell. I guess there's three options. Option two is you dwell on it and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, tell me more. I'm so sorry, I'm here for you, you know, and you do that. I'm not your therapist, chat, you know, so I tend to be a little bit colder with my approaches. I don't want everybody in chat to be like, all right, now we're getting into trauma. This is some heavy shit, you know? And then option three, I guess, is you just sort of, like, be a dickhead, and you're like, hey, bro, don't trauma dump in my chat. Which is kind of what I want to say most of the time, but I filter myself, and I just go, oh, that sucks, dude, and then I move on, you know? Just because, like, yeah, it's a very tricky spot to be in as a streamer. Anyways, these are some challenges. That's sort of how I approach it. I don't know if that's what you're asking me, but that would be my advice. Trent says, that feeling used to make me spineless. Yeah, I think the other risk is, and this is, I've talked to some of my chatter friends, they get into a position where your culture kind of morphs into this thing where the chat kind of expects you to sympathize with them all the time, and so they say more frequently things that are going to garner sympathy from you, which just means you kind of have a big pity party chat all the fucking time, and that sucks ass. I don't want that, you know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, I'm just gonna be a dickhead. Sometimes you just gotta do it to him. And to be quite honest, chat, I think that should apply to everything in your life. Within reason, you know, be a good person. But generally speaking, don't compromise on your values and who you are just to appease people or to make people feel nice. Because the reality is, oftentimes, if you are doing that, it's taking away from something else in your life, you know? Whether it's sort of the way you want to be treated, that's probably the biggest one, is the way you want to be treated. And if you compromise on that, you know, you end up sort of internalizing it, and then that builds into resent, and then it just sort of fucking rots at your core. It's a poison, dude. You don't want that, you know? So I think if you think you're not somebody who's very assertive, it's worth looking into ways to maybe improve that if you have the opportunity to. Anyways, that's it. That's my tip of the day. And speaking of tips, I'm going to take a leak, and then I'm going to get some water, because I've been yapping. So, BRB. Alright, we're back. Daddy's home. What'd I miss? That sounds so tough. Well, I mean, look. There's like, what, 8 billion people on the planet? You can't make everybody happy, and you will rip yourself apart trying. And at a certain point, you need to sort of detach yourself from that sort of, that part of you that wants to please everybody. Because if you don't, I mean, look, maybe you'll have a really good life if you surround yourself with good people, but the reality is you're gonna have conflict in your life. That's what being a human is sometimes, you know. And when it comes to that, you got to be able to just sort of, I don't know. It's tough, I guess. Yeah. Growing up, I feel like I was a bit of a wild kid, and I did a lot of like stupid shit. I got in a lot of trouble all the time, and all this stuff, and blah 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 blah. And I felt like as I got older, like I realized a lot of that stuff sort of stemmed from insecurity and just trying to fit in with the wrong crowds and all that shit. And so I sort of started internalizing a lot in my early 20s and creating kind of like moral codes for myself, I guess, in a way, and just things that I think are the way I want to live my life and the way I want to, you know, the type of person I want to be. And I try real fucking hard to stick to them. It's tough sometimes, you know, but and I think when it comes to social interactions with other people and things like that, especially like boundaries, I weigh the pros and cons, and, you know, I'll lay down the law if I need to, I guess. But you could do it in a way that doesn't damage the relationship. Like, let's say you have, I don't know, your friend says something mean to you, okay? And they do it pretty regularly. They think they're joking. It hurts your feelings. This is a very big dude thing. I feel like, no offense to men, I think they're kind of fucking stupid when it comes to stuff like this. But chicks, I feel, have it a little bit more down. But dudes tend to just sort of tank negative things that their homies are saying just for the bits. And, you know, I think sometimes if it gets to you, to the point where you think it's going to damage the friendship, you could probably save the friendship by just being like, hey, dude, could you not do this or say this or do that or whatever, you know? And if your friend says, fuck you, don't be a pussy, well, like, it's like, do you want that guy to be your friend? It gets messy if it's like you've got a big friend group and shit like that, and then dynamics get all weird and shit. Anyways, I'm adding too many layers to this, but most of the time, I'm gonna say like 80% of the time, it's gonna go well. People are just gonna be like, okay, got it, and then, my bad. I respect you as a friend, I don't want to hurt your feelings, my bad. Now, if you do it all the fucking time, you know, and unreasonably, maybe you'll be annoying as shit, and then you'll be like, alright, well, fuck this guy, but life's complicated, dude. I don't got the answers, but that's it. That's the rough gray zone response. I was recently reminded of the existence of Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, he exists for sure. He's out there somewhere. Somebody that I used to know. Just somebody that I used to know. I don't really like the hard edge here. Okay, one last thing. Sorry, this just popped into my head. All right, sorry, and then I'm done with this. Unless you guys want to keep yapping about it, but like, when it comes to streamer shit, I think you have to be a little bit more tailored towards the side of not factoring other people's emotions in as much. The reality is you can't please everybody, and you're gonna get a lot of weird people in chats. And if you sort of let them sort of run your shit, you're gonna have a bad time. Anyways, that's it. That's the end of it. But we need some pick-me-up music. Let loose the dogs of X-Japan. Damon, you know where the queue is. I don't know what you're talking about, so you can queue it up if you want, but... Money that I used to know. Money... What? When I started YouTube, I think that's what that is, I uploaded gaming videos, then got worried my channel wasn't doing well, so I started uploading new episodes of Invincible and Rick and Morty. Yeah, don't do that, dog. You're just gonna get DMCA'd. I say just make shit that you think you would want to watch. Yeah, I got channel striked. I didn't really know. Well, lesson learned. You should upload Disney movies too. Yeah, they love that. Post full-on, like, Nintendo trailers. I hear they don't do anything litigious. Yeah, that's what they wanted to watch. Yeah, exactly. I do like that. Just posting Rick and Morty show. I like Rick and Morty. I'm just making content of shit I like to watch. I'm so bad at wrinkles, bro. I just named 33 different seals in my Discord. My wrist kind of hurts now from typing. Impressive. Yeah, but I did gain like 56 subs. Yeah, look, man. YouTube, I don't know. I don't have a huge interest in being a clout chaser or being a famous person. Actually, the concept of being famous is something I want to avoid. So, I don't know. I don't want that life. I like my simple life. It's pleasant for me. Mr. Snack, Red Velvet. Lies. Snack wants to avoid being internet famous as opposed to famous. I would like my art to be valued. That's about it. Unfortunately, as a creator in like 2026, that also means trying to become famous. But yeah, I just like drawing, and that's all I really want to do. And I just haven't really enjoyed other things in my life. But that being said, I don't want to. I don't like doing commissions because I like drawing what I want to draw. So I don't even really want to be like a professional artist. I just kind of want to be a homeless guy with money who does whatever he wants. That's kind of what I want for my life. That would be nice. I think this needs to be more gestural. I wanted to make gaming videos and maybe short review videos. I never knew what type of creator I wanted to be. Drawing digital art only for myself. YouTube rewards doing like the same niche of content. If you're changing your content all the time, it's gonna damage your channel typically. Also, things like mixing live streams with shorts and stuff like that. Like, have a separate channel for shorts. You know that really, yeah. The algorithm does not like that. It really like downregulates your content. Do you think it's best to view stuff based on its final product, look into the creator's intention, or based on how others view it? Depends. You know, there are like I have. I mean, every answer when it comes to art and like subjectivity is gonna be depends. But I have friends that like I work with that take art classes just because they want to decompress. Their goal is not to be like the greatest artist ever. They just want to draw abstract shapes because it feels good. You know, and that's totally valid. And so in their case, the art that they produce has nothing to do with how other people view it. It's more intrinsic to them and how it makes them feel. I think there's a lot of like it should be a good mix. In my case, I'm probably a little bit more like can you stop interrupting me, Mr. Robot Man? I think in my world, I'm a little bit more keen to being technically skilled. That's something I really value, and so that's where I put a lot of my focus and emotional like weight into. But yeah, like I also want my art to make me feel good, because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna hate making it, you know? So it's a bit of both, but in my case, I'm willing to tank a little bit more of, I don't know, negative emotion, I suppose, in pursuit of that. But I know my limits. Okay. Damon, what are you doing to my song request right now? Bret Hart Caught Out in the Rain? A homeless guy with money? That is the exact opposite of a mouse. Everybody on the internet's fake, dude. Nothing's real. I'm a grown-ass 30-year-old man. 32-year-old man. I want to be a super animator. I know it's just a term, but I think that would mean a lot to me if people referred to me and my work is done by a super animator because it sounds cool. Yeah, I want to, personally, I like... I don't know. I think the thing I really sort of value the most, and I feel like streaming has made me realize that, you're 30, 32, and like, probably like 32 and 112. Just a little baby boy, dude. I think the one thing that I've learned to value, or that I know brings me a lot of like satisfaction in art, is making impacts on others. I know it sounds corny as fuck, dude. I'm 32 months old. Goo goo gaga. You're 30? I thought you were like 52. I just say that to sound cooler. It sounds very cringe, and it sounds like very generic. Be like, I just want to make people happy. I like the idea of my life. I want to, you know, just impact as many people in art as I can. That's like a thing that really matters to me. And I think that's why I do sort of the free critiques, despite the fact that it probably could be making money off of it. It's not really... I don't know. I've got shit in my life that like makes me money. I think for me, like, it sort of liberates me to choose what I want to do with my art, rather than feeling that I have to conform to some sort of internet pressure as to how like my artistic output would be. Because otherwise it would stress me out, dude. I'd have to finish drawings, first of all, you know? I couldn't just like ADHD my way around my art journey and just do whatever the hell I want. I would have to probably finish things. I would probably have to do commissions. I'd probably have to do like stupid little TikTok dances or TikTok like trends or whatever. I don't know. Do you upload your art on YouTube? Yeah, multi-stream to YouTube. Do I upload art? I mean, I've done a few reels and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, I don't know. To me, the one thing, whenever I see, this is like, there's different types of satisfaction, I find. There's the internet version, where you get a spike of dopamine based off of like, you know, people reacting on your posts, giving you comments and all that stuff. But it's short-lived, it's not deep, and it feels synthetic. It doesn't feel nutritious in a way, like to the soul and like to the emotions. And I think a lot of the stuff that's very satisfying in life to me comes from, it's not easily achievable. And I'll give you an example. If I have like a chatter, and they post their art regularly, and I've had chatters here that post their art regularly, and they keep coming back, and they apply their work, and I see them grow and develop, that shit is like the fucking most juicy, nutritious shit I could ever feel. That's like a degree of satisfaction that just like hits like nothing else. And it's not like this pure euphoric dopamine spike that you would get from having a video go viral or something like that. But it's just, to me, that holds so much more weight than anything else. I don't know, like just knowing, I don't know what it is. I think I like teaching. I think that's just kind of it, you know? Those who can't do teach, and sometimes those who do know teach as well, so what are you gonna do? That's my genome. I'm gonna be real, I feel like you're a brunette. I don't know why, you just give brunette vibes off your voice and such. I'm a 4'9" redhead. I stand on a box, just like a little apple crate like Tom Cruise, because my fucking standing desk's too tall for me sometimes. Alright, back to Duran. He's bleach blonde. I'm a young Chinese woman. At heart. Okay, it's a very Chinese time of my life. How would you feel if your chatters got worse? I'd probably just be like, maybe I'm terrible at this. But the fact that they improve... Like, the thing is, like, I give a lot of advice every single stream. And not every piece of advice, I guess, is going to be as valuable as another piece of advice. There's probably some shit I say that's probably actually kind of bullshit. It's just stuff that I vibe out and it feels right in the moment when I'm saying it. But I think if in the long run, like, it averages out to me having more positive impact on people, I think that's enough, you know? I do think in general, though, it's... I believe it's quality, you know? Oh, a leprechaun. Did I spell that right? I don't know, dude. I'm Canadian. That word don't exist here. I don't like this form here. I really gotta figure out this fucking arm. Ni hao, says Kimdo. 我是以给普通的白人小贺. Yeah, it was just a joke. Your critiques are good, and you keep it at the level of the individual artist, I think. Yeah, I know you're joking, dog. You didn't hurt my feelings. Don't worry. I really don't know what to fucking do with this arm, though. I'm terrible at, like, drawing, like, sleeves. Really loose sleeves. Right, totally. No idea what you just said. I thought you were Chinese, dude. You lying to me? I googled how to say I'm but a simple white boy in Chinese, and then I just read it out phonetically because I don't have any audio on my Google right now. I'm working on it. My pronunciation's not perfect, you know? Don't make fun of me. I'm still insecure. I really just don't know what to do with this stupid hand. I do feel like it should come out, but... I've been improving a lot. I have a new focus on forms, anatomy, and life drawing. Good, dude. I think a lot of people don't realize how technical art can be. And I think you know, a lot of people can draw intuitively, and a lot of people can draw, like, technically. I feel like I'm more of the technical side of things. struggle with intuition. I have to kind of have some sort of framework of logic to when I'm drawing. Otherwise, it's just not gonna. It's just not gonna. Like, sometimes I can land on a beautiful shape, but I have a really hard time feeling out beautiful shapes in my art. And so for me, I tend to focus on the technical a lot. It's not the brush I want to use. Chat, who the hell's queuing this shit up? Damon, was this you? You made me listen to country shit right now? I'm more self-taught when it comes to art, and I try and create my own style and character. I always imagine the worlds and scenes for fun. I don't know how I feel about the term self-taught. I feel like you kind of have to be self-taught. I don't know if, like, you can actually... Like, even if you go to art school, the one thing is, like, I feel like whenever you tell someone you go to art school, they're like, oh, that's why you're good. But I feel like when I went to art school, do a jiggle? Shit. You know it, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like most people I went to art school with, like... Or not most people, I would say. But a lot of student artists are not that great, you know? I think a lot of schools do this thing where they advertise their best students, you know? And you'll have, like, these videos on, like, YouTube of, like, this is my CalArts portfolio, and this is this blah, 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 blah. Like, you gotta know there's a lot of people that, like, get rejected for a bazillion different reasons. Somebody could have a fantastic portfolio and get rejected because they just, you know, maybe they fucked up some other part of the application or whatever. It's not usually as clear as it feels like. Usually there's about 10%, at least... Like, in my opinion, there were, like, maybe 10 to 5% of my program was people that were, like, cracked, okay? And everybody else was just kind of, like, average or, like, on some sort of bell curve. And I felt like I was on the bell curve. I was not, like, gifted in any regard. But I was also, like, very, I'm very obsessive. So in my case, I feel like I can grow a lot just by grinding and studying and all that shit. They put my shit on their website. My ego grew 3 sizes that day. Yeah, exactly, right? But it's like, but that's what they do. And so a lot of people think like, oh, art school, everybody's goated. Everybody's the Trinity Violet of insert whatever school. And that's just not the case. Most people are very, very average to below average at art when they start out. You're a student. The whole point of going to school is to be a student and not be good at the thing. You know? That's why you're there, to learn. So the whole self-taught versus art school thing, you're definitely going to have advantages network-wise when it comes to going to art school. I think that was the biggest advantage. But I think you can teach yourself art, for sure, dude. But I do feel like the art community kind of treats the whole, like, academic versus self-taught, kind of, like, similar to, like, bodybuilding, where it's, like, natural and not natural. You're enhanced if you go to art school, dude. You're not natty. Anyways, I'm not natty, all that to say. But I'm gonna claim natty status, because I'm all about that YouTube money. If anything, the reason people who go to art school are sometimes better is because they've literally dedicated their life to art. Yeah, it's gonna filter for people who want to do that professionally. So they're gonna have put in a lot more mileage than the average person. But it doesn't mean that, like, everybody in there is goated. I studied game design, so never really stopped drawing. Cool, dude. Based. I went to art school late, so I was, I originally, when I finished high school, I didn't do any art in high school. I was, like, I played on the hockey team, I played hockey, like, that was my thing. And then when I graduated, I went to college, and I got my diploma as an electrical engineering technician. So I did a 2-year diploma in that, got my tech diploma, and then never did anything with it, because I was like, this is whack, dude. I don't want to be a glorified electrician. This is not my vibe. Everybody I went to school with was, like, some tradie that was, like, into hunting and, you know, going to the club on the weekend. It just wasn't my vibe at all. And then when I was, like, 23, I decided to go back to college for animation. And I did that. And then I worked professionally for a little bit, and then I left the industry. And, you know. So. There you go. Oh, running on that road too long. Way back home. Mommy's dead and gone. What did you work on? It's classified, unfortunately. For privacy reasons. Hi everyone, hey Venosa, how you doing? Who's the freak who decided to equip a poor mouse with big fat tits? That would be my mod Bobameyer. That's his creative choice, okay? Okay, I gotta sit down. I've been standing too long, chat. I'm Googe, how about you? Straight Googing it, dude. Ugh. It's my old 32-year-old bones there. I was the one who redeemed it? Yeah, you redeemed it, but Boba made it. That's like worse. I feel like you've done more art than I have done YouTube. I'm probably like twice your age. Oh, well, hopefully not, or I have to ban you, but... One day, I'll be twice the age of somebody who can be here. Isn't that crazy? Old mouse bones, yeah, exactly. Alright. Don't spread the lies. 32 still young. That's true, guys. I do joke. I'm not very insecure about aging. It's not a thing that bothers me too much, to be quite honest. I just want to stay healthy. That's all. I think if I'm like 40, but I can still like run, I can still like get up, do things, you know, that's fine. I think the biggest like impact on my perception of aging is probably my shoulder injury, but I did that when I was like 29. 29? Yeah, roughly around there. So like that's like prime of my life shit. So it's like, you know, it's not really whatever. Just be careful, be smart, be healthy, all that good shit. Just sketching today? Kind of. I'm probably gonna be fiddling around with this arm for an hour and a half and never getting it done. How you doing, Venosa? What are you up to today? No goblet, this is so sad. I just have to flip the arm upside down, you know? If I feel like if I just take the hand, and I do one of these, and I just do flip vertical, now it's a goblet hand. Kind of actually legitimately is. I just feel like it'll break up the silhouette. Nah, whatever. We'll try it, okay? I'm trying it, just because I know you want to paint this after, so... Let me duplicate this layer. Lock. And then we'll try an alternate. No, don't! Chill! Chill! It's too late. I'm committed. I'm getting bullied by chat. I was drawing and got my ass whooped in Phasmo. I'm 19 and my body is failing me, but only half of that can be blamed on genetics. Okay, well there you go. At least you know. I really don't think this is I don't think this is gonna work. Also, his thumb's on the wrong side, but whatever. Is it? Yeah, his thumb's on the wrong side. He does kind of look pretty sick, though. I won't lie. on this. Let me swap his thumb over. This is now going to become the pinky, and then the thumb is going to be like... That looks weird. What's the perspective here? Am I looking below him? I'm kind of like neutral. I feel like the cup would be kind of like neutral too. I'm not doing that. It's not working. Is there something about holding a goblet down low that you don't like? It just feels awkward. I feel like if I had it down here, like within the cape range, right? Because I don't want to break up this visual line here going up to the face. I could have it just like... Oops, not flip horizontal. Flip vertical. Something like this. And then I feel like that doesn't break up as much, actually. That's not terrible. I just feel like he's like holding a sword. He looks like he's moving forward, kind of. Or at least he looks menacing. How many people hold swords and drink alcohol? Actually, don't answer. Probably a lot. But like... I just feel like it's like two different... One, like goblet holding is like, I'm chilling. Sword holding is like, I'm killing, you know? I just feel like there's a little bit of an emotional conflict. Me at the Ren Fair? Exactly. The idea is kind of like, you know, having his arm out, like he's sort of propelling his cape out in a way. I just don't know how to... I don't like the... I like the hand. I don't like the sleeve. I don't hate that, actually. I don't hate that as much. I'm gonna move this over. Just so I can get a bit more of a overlap there. I do like there's like a subtle curve here. Pirates drink and hold swords, that's who. That is true. My servers hate me. You know the earlier drawing with the two characters? I put up polls if I should color it, and one of them voted no, so now I'm stuck coloring this shit. Don't run polls for things you don't want to know the answer to, you know? Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to be honest. Yeah, you can't be leaning forward with a goblet. It's impossible, physically. Trying to think. If his tension point is like here, it would slope down and probably sort of create some sort of bunch up like here-ish. Well, I don't need this line, but I just sort of want to track the tension point. I'll accept it. I accept being a pirate. It is what it is. C'est la vie. I think the arm on a foreshortened arm like this usually drops a little lower. Not lower, but the line. Mouse with breast? Cute. Hi there. How's it going, Maxima Pizduk? How you doing? I'm just going good. It's going good. Elite Nara on YouTube says, "Teach me, sensei." What do you want to know? What do you want to be taught? Presumably art. And I want to be free. Talk to me. I'm not a flat his back. Ooh, sweet release, dude. Teach me how you got so big. What, do you call me fat, Elite Nara? What are you saying? I'm big boned, alright? It's just baby fat. It'll come off. Do a jiggle? Shit. You know it, dude. You know it be jiggling, Damon. Whoop. And I want to and free to talk to me. I want to be all you see. Yes. Same here, chilling and drawing. What are you working on? You're probably watching ads right now, actually, but... Want to get free, talk to me. I hear you calling. Want to be need. Talk to me. Hear the calling. That feels a little thick for a leg. Let me... He looks like a kid, just sort of like staring at, pissed off in like the schoolyard. I'm okay with it though. No one wants to play with him? That's what I'm saying. Understands you. Bro, I used to fucking love Simple Plan when I was younger. Just an anatomy schedule for 7 hours straight? Bro, doing 7 hours of study? You're crazy. I would go nuts. I don't think I could do that. I have to be in a very specific mood to like do dedicated study. And I try to do it as often as I can, but I try to do it just passively as I'm drawing whatever I want. I feel like that's the better approach, for me, personally. Is, you know, if ever I'm struggling with something, I'll take some time and just Google it. And then maybe I'll watch a little lesson on it, and then I'll come back to it. Welcome to my life. Else. And the knee's kind of low. Know what it's like. And this foot's kind of high, I think. To be like me to feel love, to be left out in the dark. What's good, Snack Attack? What up, Grizzlock? How you doing, big dog? All it is we're thinking of. No one's there to save out what it's like. Chillin'. I'm a not safe for work artist, so anatomy is a bit important to me. You gotta draw them penors in hyper-realistic detail. I get you, dog. I feel that. What's your favorite type of not safe for work to draw? I assume it's people fucking, but it could also be You know, just tasteful nudes. I don't know. Does that count as not safe for work? You've been pushed around to me on the edge of ranking. No one's there to save you, and you don't know what it's like. I like that almost kissing pose. Is that not safe for work? Does that count as not safe for work? I guess if they're naked. I really don't know what the whole spectrum is on not safe for work. But their clothes are. Oh. I heard anatomy and woke up. You woke up? Or your little guy woke up? Just kidding. Like that. It kind of depends, honestly. In my mind, not safe for work is just people fucking. Or about to. Or, you know... I feel like it's something that I can't look at work. That's probably what it is. But I feel like if I guess if people walked by my computer screen and just saw me watching a bunch of, like, vampire's tongue in it, maybe that wouldn't go well. But... I don't think I'd get fired. They'd be like, what are you looking at? I'd be like, I was looking up, I typed the wrong thing. It was an accident. Today's a woman-only day. Lots of naked women in a weirdest pose. Ooh. Were you spreading them legs, dude? I see you. I get you. I know what kind of man you are. Or woman. Sure. To each their own, dude. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Maximka. Max in Russian language, like our slang or something. Maximka. I'm gonna try and pronounce it right, but I'm probably gonna fuck it up quite often. But I will do my best. I could just call you Max, if that works. You're such a snack. Flirt? Is flirt an emoji? I just see you say flirt. I assume it's like one of those BTTV things that I don't have. Also, how you doing, Krubs? 7 TV emote? Whatever. Same deal. Please, God, get 7 TV. Yeah, but then how do I make chatters feel insecure about the emotes they're using by not reading it literally out loud? Wait, I have 7 TV. I don't see flirt. Yeah, because you have it. I don't. I'm okay. Some people in Trinity's Discord have been hooking me up with god tier brushes. I feel like a lot of people say brushes don't matter. They kind of do. They kind of do. They don't matter if you're like just learning, I guess, because you have too many fundamentals to work on. But if you want to get real niche with stylistic shit, they kind of matter. Why I got a train? Probably because you gifted a sub during the hype train, I think. They absolutely do for art style. Yeah. Yeah. I want to say that with like a big asterisk. I kind of agree. But I don't want, like, I just don't want to get into like an area where people think like I need certain brushes to be good. Because that's just not how it works. I'm nothing without my brush. I've used a lot of brushes over the years, and I feel like I'm able to produce decent art with most of them. Maybe not all of them. Is this DGD's new album? Dance Gavin Dance? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is pretty old. Same dude, I need 2 specific brushes or my shit doesn't look how I want. I switch brushes based on what I want to learn. Like, I use this brush, which is like an ink brush that doesn't have any opacity. The reason I use it is because I wanna get more comfortable at being decisive with my lines. Because I found when I would draw, I used to draw with the KSM Soft Sketcher brush for like a long ass time. I don't know where the hell it is here. It's somewhere in here. I have so many fucking brushes. I only use like 2% of them. There it is. KSM Soft Sketcher. Yeah, so I used this brush, which was like very pencil-y. I used this for like years. Or not years, but like a year or two, you know? And I like this brush because it lets me sort of render like I'm drawing with a pencil, which is why I really like it. The issue, though, is that I would tend to like polish turds because I would get so caught up in the rendering, and I would, because of that, I would sort of lose myself. And then, like, an hour or two would go by, and I'd be like, damn, I just drew the worst thing ever. But because it felt good rendering, I just kept going, you know? And I ended up with a lot of, like, fugly-ass pieces that I would have abandoned way sooner if I were doing it with a little bit more of a no-hesitation ink brush. And so I switched to an ink brush, because I wanted to see if I could draw with no opacity. Because I basically, when I was drawing traditional, I was a big mechanical pencil guy. And I wanted something that had that feel, which I really like this brush for, but, you know, it's just, I tend to sort of nurse my art a little too much with it. But I can get a lot more of an appealing value range, whereas with the ink brush, I have to be a little bit more deliberate with how I place my lines, which is what I wanted, but... So what you're saying is you're fucking awesome at art? I'm not saying that, but I'll take it. You know, if you want to claim that. So many brushes, he says, it's like 13. I really have only used like probably 3 brushes over the past 2.5 years. You're fucking awesome at art. Thank you. Thank you, Krups. You're bringing a tear to my eye, dude. I've also tried a lot of brushes, but I only started actually liking my drawings when I switched to my current brush, which might just be me improving in general, but I'm gonna say it's the brush. It's probably... I feel like there's stuff that just, like, certain brains do better with, you know? There's probably brushes where it's more intuitive for you to use. That's what I would probably say. I feel like if you stuck it out and looked up techniques on how people use the brush that you wanted to use, let's say, you'd probably be able to improve. But I feel like if you have, like, a habit of drawing a specific way, yeah, it might be a little easier to use a different brush, you know? Or a specific brush. Bye, Snack. I gotta go. I got food to eat. That sounds good. I could use some food. I also like having brushes that capture different mediums, like gouache or some effect brush. Like Man did that steam frog brush, save me from the headache of drawing steam. Yeah, that I can imagine. I feel like every one of those that I use is like super laggy. Control. Make it work. Look at the worst and I'm crazy. I wanna be a lady. This is my jam. Who requested this? I don't know. I don't know. Should I make song request anonymous? I don't know if I can. Is in control. I'm gonna make it work. I'm still losing the world. And you're crazy. I'm trying to be a lady. Dude, I haven't used this brush in so long. It's crazy. This is where I would get into like the over polishing phase, where I would just sort of draw, do wrinkles, all that shit. Anyways, I'm not gonna do this. I was just sort of testing it out. I'll make it work. It's still losing the work. It's crazy. Gonna be a lady. Think I'm going crazy. Hey Snack! What up, Chrissy Carson? How you doing? Yeah, I just use a regular pencil brush, but I really like painting with it too. I'm gonna be honest, this brush that I'm using right now, the best pieces I've ever produced came from this brush. In my opinion. And it makes it really easy for me to paint, because I can define the planes with this sort of opacity. You know, like if I want to give this guy like a cheekbone or a shadow. Whereas with an ink brush, it's a little bit more difficult to do that. So I can map things out better, I find, with this brush. When I open Clip Studio and there's a material category, I could spend a couple of hours just scrolling them. I try to not trap myself in that loop. I kind of just try and... When I pick a new brush, I try and really just rock with it for like a solid 2 weeks. Because you can't get used to a brush without like really giving it a shot, you know? Ink brushes do not suit my style at all. I mean, that was how I felt too, though. Like, I avoided ink brushes like the plague for like years, and then I just kind of hard committed, and I got used to it a little faster. I had to change the way I draw, but I think that's a good thing. Right now, I'm just kind of blindly doodling. I'm not really doing much, but... I want you to know. Ink brush forces you to lock in. I mean, the opacity brush does too. I think my issue was I was spending way too much time over-rendering shit. That's kind of why I stopped using it as much. Just because I wanted to have a little bit more commitment to what I was drawing. Anyways, back to biz. Where's my GWA pen at? It's all kind of a mood-based thing for me. I got a fuck ton of brushes, and sometimes I'll just use a random one for the whole thing. I feel like that's a good way to do things. I think, you know, that's kind of how I would like to work. But again, I'm not very intuitive, so I feel like I gotta sort of find what works with a specific brush. And that helps me. I do be fucking with Anderson .Paak, I won't lie. I don't like this, like, middle area here. It just feels too compact. Oh, totally. Like, I kind of just collect brushes in general, but some brushes I'll load in and hit the SpongeBob trying to Gary's food shrivel up. try and get. Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean, I need to clean up my brushes, dude. I don't use 90% of them. A lot of the time, it's like I want one brush, but it just comes in like a massive pack, and so I have like a fucking bazillion brushes as a result. Pepe, please. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Kim, should I start calling you Hio? I've thought about that. I wonder. Mrs. Doe? I know I'm very quiet right now. I'm locking in a little bit, so it's probably gonna be a lot of quietness. Himdo? Yeah, no. I don't know if I want to do hash lines. I just feel like the cape needs more. It's just like not enough going on. I don't really like the sort of lines I have here. I just don't want to pull away from anything. Kimbo. Kimdo Slice. Kimdo Slice peak. Couldn't have done it without you, dude. You gave me the layup. Or the alley-oop or whatever. I don't watch basketball. Whatever the thing is where the guy passes it to the other guy, and then I bring it home. Give me the one-timer, you know? Think I'm gonna make that move now. This whole area is like super duper messy. Can you make a hold a goblet that pours blood on the head of a bat minion below him? You guys friggin' love goblets, dude. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. I'll think about it. Part of me wants to use my other brush for this. I need Bruno and Anderson to drop another Silk Sonic album. Yeah, dude. I don't know what the hell's taking them so long. They fucking killed that first one. Is he still locked in Vegas purgatory? Bruno or Anderson .Paak? There's so many good artists that just like end up performing in Vegas indefinitely. It's crazy. Bruno. Don't know me. Fuck this. I'm gonna do something here. If I know you got everything, you won't give up. What up, Cut? How you doing? I never realized it shows when you request a song, like, on your screen. Yeah, it does. Big chillin'. Is there an uncut Marrow out there, you think? Just a thought. There is, it's also me. You won't do. Oh no. Everything. Won't give up. Nothing. There's a pre-cut Marrow. Oh no. Oops. Did you already look at my toenail head, or did I make it before critique time? You're a little early. We did critique time stuff already. I just typically I go over it when people are in chat. I did not go over yours. I did not go over yours. I'm kind of flowing right now. I hesitate to do crits, but if you catch me on Friday and remind me, I will go over it, I promise. Federaco, I see your idea. I actually do like the goblet idea. I just don't know if I'm gonna have it pour out on like a little guy, you know? But maybe I'll do a little goblet thing. I've had so many goblet requests. Hopefully I'll have another one by then so I can see where my bad habits are. Just like quickly looking at your thing, I think there's some structural issues with the face, a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, I could go over it next week though. I don't hate the goblet idea as much. He's got a perfect hand for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disc. Let's go goblet time? Maybe. I just gotta figure out my line weight right now. Yeah, I don't know how pencily I want to go with this. Hi, Snack. Hey, Miss Sam. How you doing? How's life? Better now that I'm here. My body isn't trying to end me. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad to have you, dude. Hopefully you can heal. Angels calling us, rise before us. I'll make the body sing. Wing. Heal, you're funny. My kid said his stomach hurt this morning after I said mine hurt, and he said I passed it on to him. I was like, this tummy ache doesn't work that way. Uh-oh. I plead for all of womankind, dude. Don't worry. I'm with you in spirit. It's the best I can do. As the eviler of the sexes. Appreciate you. I even took some meds and nothing helped. Unfortunately, gotta let it do its thing, you know? I mean, I don't, but I do, you know? Any whoosies, what are we working on? Vampire Boy. I'm very locked in right now. It's that part of the stream where I just get turbo quiet. I'm trying to make my shapes a little bit nicer. It's the skin of a killer bell. Yeah, exactly. This is looking great so far. Thanks, man. Thank you. I really don't know what to do with like his like blazer area thing. Part of me wants to just tuck it into the pants. But I just feel like it ends kind of weirdly here. I also feel like he'd be a little bit more snatched. Alright, gotta head out. Have a nice rest of your stream. I will, dude. I will. How long have we been going? 3 hours? I think ads are about to pop up. I gotta pee. Ads are coming up in 5 minutes. I'm gonna run them now. I'm gonna go make a little tuna sandwich. Alright, I'll BRB. Be right back. back. We back. Happy Pride to this song. I don't know if you're referring to this one or the previous one we were listening to. I was gone for a little bit there. Maybe a cummerbund? No come on stream, please. Don't worry, I don't do that. This one? Okay. Hell yeah. How you doing, Nox? You streaming today? Yes, sir. Trying to decide what we're gonna do? You should draw. Making my breakfast sandwich at 2 p.m. Sigh, yeah, okay. If you draw, I'll raid you. Well, depending on what time you stream. I'm probably gonna finish in an hour-ish. Heard that crunchy ass bite? Oh yeah. My baby's toasted. I have a rep sheet I gotta work on? Hell yeah. Giving me ASMR while I try and draw? This is what it's all about. It's my new foray. You guys know each other or something? I'm just a friendly guy. Alright, based. I gotta go wash my hands. I'm covered in tuna and shit. Alright, back to biz. Tuna and shit, bruh. Don't knock it till you try it, you know? A lot of animals do it. on me. I won't die no more. Don't look in the sky no more. Many, 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 many men. I'll stick to my mac and cheese and hot dogs. It's what the kids wanted. Uh-huh. You sure it's not what mom wanted? Mom's struggling today, dude. Maybe mom wants a little mac and cheese and hot dogs. Ain't no shame. I'm back. Sorry my internet cut off and my phone was low battery. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I have never had my phone be low battery in my life. I am like so locked in with charging my phone. I think the lowest it ever gets is like 40%. Whenever people are like, sorry, my phone died, part of me wonders like how far away they are from like outlets. Maybe, you know what it is? I just don't use my phone much. I'm very much like offline when I'm not offline, but I'm less of a phone user. I just don't really like texting on my phone or doing stuff like it's not really my thing. It's a little dark. I've become less attached to my phone this year, and it's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. Fuck. Mangolin Illustration, welcome in. How you doing? I should check YouTube, see how long I've been ignoring them. Susie, sorry I ignored you. I have a question. Why does your OC mouse have such a big thorax? Genetics. There's not much I can do about it, you know? I don't like the curve here. Looks. How big is the largest? The largest, the biggest. Who's this handsome vampire? And why does he wield the blade? He's hunting, dude. He's doing something. The sword is like, misaligned. Or maybe the hand is. I'm doing like the thing that you probably shouldn't do with hands. I should probably have it be a little bit more flush here. What up? What up, Nancy? How you doing? Vegas, the largest. I don't know. Throwing ass on the kitchen right now. Huh? I don't think I read. Is there a context response to that? They all have varying... Okay, wait. You said word. Okay, I was worried about quality loss going back, but this is a confidence-inspiring. Thank you. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I gotta... How far do I scroll up to know what's going on here? 3 is my first one, but I think I gotta play 2. Reading conversations backwards is probably not the move. To the window, to the wall. Man upstairs, it ain't you and then me. I don't like that. That line's way too thick, too chunky. I gotta switch my other brush here. What did the kitchen do? I think they're making breakfast. I think I retroactively understood the context. Alcohol. Or just throwing ass in the kitchen, twerking. I would never. Did we figure out the damn hand? Pressuring me. You're pressuring me. You make me nervous. I don't know. Kind of, I guess. I don't know. Guess what I'm doing? I don't know. What are you doing? Drawing, presumably? Driving? Uh-oh. Eyes on the road, dude. Stay out of chat, out of red light. I don't care. Stay alive. You gotta live, dude. You got too much to live for. Don't chat and drive, chat. Usually you want to be stopped at a red light train. That's true, you don't want to blow through it. Like staring at Snack's titties, distraction. They're accident prone, dude. You don't want none of that smoke. Uh-oh, my Bluetooth is shitting itself. I really, really absolutely fucking hate this cloak thing. I've been trying to fix it like forever and it's just not really working for me. I don't really know how to fix it. It's working? I don't think so. I don't like it. Also, stop talking. I'm gonna time you out if you keep driving and chatting. For your own safety. How far are you going? How long do I have to time you out for? Five minutes? See you in 5 minutes. When they pull my body out of the wreckage, I hope your stream's still playing. Could you imagine? That would be horrible. You're getting like resuscitated, and I'm just talking about you know, how it would be cool if your neck had a foreskin, or like how I would love like RGB prosthetics and it's on like full blast while the paramedics are trying to bring you back to life. It'd be the worst. It would be so funny in hindsight, though. I mean, it'd be a good clip, I guess. A good stream clip. It'd basically be a live leak, but you know. What's that thing they say about no such thing as bad advertising or whatever? Publicity. Paramedics might give you a follow though. You know, the thing is, statistically, there's a lot of people in chat. So at some like on any given weekend, and so at some point, there's probably been somebody who's been going through some life-altering shit while I'm just playing in the background. That is kind of crazy to imagine, like just getting divorced, just at, like a full-on screaming match with their wife, and I'm just, or I guess knowing my chat, their gay husband, and I'm just in the background talking about the most insane shit ever. I always put you on during domestic violence. I didn't say violence. I did not say violence. Just disputes. I'm gonna see. Like that. Place your bets on who's gonna win custody of the kids. Chat, do you vote guilty or... I can't tell if Nancy having kids is real or not. I guarantee that's not real. Not that I think you couldn't do it, Nancy. I believe you could. I just don't think you have kids. I feel like I would have heard it. Okay. I need to look at Pinterest. Time to ignore YouTube chat while I browse Pinterest. I think his legs are like too thick. I know, like, stylistically, I tend to do like thick legs very stylistically, but I feel like he needs to be like twinkier, you know? Snack, what are you watching these days? Honestly, nothing. I'm waiting for a good copy of Obsession and Backrooms to come out on Pirate Bay or, you know, whatever torrent website, and I'll probably watch that. But for now, nothing. Corn? Well, like the vegetable? What does that mean? Would love to hear your thoughts on Obsession when you do. I'm not gonna see it, but I am collecting discourse. You're not gonna see it, like, at all? Nope. Alright. Too personally traumatic? Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I stare at corn. Perks of living in, what is that, Illinois? IL? We don't have a lot of corn up in Canada. I mean, I'm sure we do, just not where I am. But I appreciate the conversations it's fostering and that it's an indie production. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like the skits of the director. I find him unfunny, but I have heard good things, so I'll give it a chance. I don't know anything about him. He's just kind of like a YouTube dude. What are we talking about? Obsession. No spoilers, by the way, or I'm banning you. That applies to everybody. But, yeah, we're just talking about the director. Genuinely the best horror ever, no diff. Not even low diff. I should probably check how long I timed out Trin for. I have no idea. Where were we? 300 seconds. Oh, that's 5 minutes. Okay, that's good. Oh, TV shows I've been watching? One called From. From. I assume there's more to that sentence, but maybe not. I'm watching Apothecary Diaries with my best friend once a week, and that's been fun. Okay. Never heard of it. The last thing I watched was probably... what the hell is it called? Widow's Bay. That was a very good show. Mara and I are working on the end of Fire Force slowly and rationing Ifnal Beastars episodes. Oh, the final Beastars episode. Like, is there a new season of Beastars? I feel like there's... I've only ever watched the one season. I did like the show, though. I need more light TV. We just finished Chowder again. I don't know what that is. Noah Shovik, thank you for the Prime sub, big dog. How you doing? How you doing, dude? I really don't know what to fucking do with his upper body. There's like a lot of weird shit going on with this that I'm not digging too much, but you don't know what Chowder is? Peak Cartoon Network stuff? Little purple guy wants to be a chef? Chowder. Cartoon. Never seen this shit in my life. Ever. I'm not even doing it, chat, for the bit to be like, I'm a normie boomer who doesn't watch shit. I've genuinely never seen this in my life. It's great. Okay. Gumball. I know Gumball. I know of Gumball. Mostly because the James Baxter animation I think he did. My stream cut out, but if that's how you doing was towards me, I'm doing rather moderate right now. Got off a devastating shift and I fell straight asleep. That was directed at you. That's good. Sometimes work just cooks you, dude. You just gotta lay down and chillax. Gumball's pretty based, honestly. Mixed family that isn't super nuclear, and lots of queer rep. I see. I got more energy to draw into the night, though, so now I'm happy. Very good. Same for Steven Universe, except Steven Universe is a little more squishy. I've only seen people like meme on Steven Universe. Mm-hmm. Steven Universe is generally very good. Good writing, good music, good complex characters, and good lessons. Okay, cool. I'm not a big cartoon guy, to be honest, chat. It's not a... Well, it depends, I guess. I'm not like a Western cartoon guy, I suppose. I've watched like Arcane and shit. I wouldn't count that as like a cartoon, though. I feel like that's almost like... It's not anime, but it feels like more anime-ish. I gotta think where his shoulder would be. Probably like here. Cartoons get my art brain going. I do feel that way sometimes. I just feel like I'm not a big like show consumer these days. I used to be. Now I feel like I'm a lot more picky. I don't know where it is. I get into like these habits where I just sort of don't watch shows. I'm a big YouTube guy though, so it's like it's a weird thing where it's like my brain's like watching movies for some reason feels like a waste of time, or watching shows feels like a waste of time, but watching YouTube doesn't. But it's like the same thing, you know? So I don't know why my brain does that, but I struggle with show consumption. Unless I really, really, really want to watch it. Movies I could watch, because I feel like they're a couple hours. It's just sort of like, you know, in, out, done. And then, but shows, I feel like they're usually time commitment. I don't know how many seasons it's going to run. I feel like there's some sort of like scope creep with shows in terms of time. Or at least that's how it feels. Okay, I'm going to go back to my old version, see how much I fucked it up. Okay, I definitely think I prefer the way it looked before. We're going to go back to the old one. Oops. Alright, Ice Chai acquired. Still driving though. Ban me. I like regular show for a while. I got bored with the format after a bit, but it is fun. Regular show. You know the name of my band. I'm gonna wrap up in like 15 minutes, chat. Just as a heads up. Nox, I don't know if you're going live now. There's no pressure if you're not. I can rate somebody else. I know Milky is live, and it was her birthday yesterday. I actually should have rated her. I meant to, but I totally forgot. So maybe I'll rate her today. If you're not on. If you are on, though, we'll throw your way. Nah, brother, I've got half an hour before I go, but I appreciate you. Alright, alright. I genuinely don't think I've ever heard this song before. Before you dip, can I get your thoughts on my new style? It's on my Twitter, only has art. Your new style. So I wasn't gonna do any more critiques today. I'm not gonna go in depth on it. If you want me to look at, I mean, like, normally what we do is we, like, if people want to share art, they can post it in the Discord. Unless they're rating, then typically we'll let them share it on stream, but if you post in the Discord, I'll take a look at it. If not, it's fine. I don't like the way this is going. I'm very frustrated with this piece, guys. Oh, Discord. I'll upload 2 pictures of 2 characters I made. Yeah, go for it, dude. If you pop in the Discord, no problem. I try and limit, you know, I like people sending links and stuff like that. I feel like I get a lot of people being like, "Hey, can you go check this thing out on this site or whatever?" And I don't want to like set the standard, which is why I sort of redirect people to the Discord. I have no problem taking a look at it there, but it's looking good. Could be a case of looking at it for too long. Maybe. I do feel like I'm like notoriously rough on myself in terms of standards. If I don't like a piece, I will just like delete it and move on to another one. I'm not going to delete this one. I'm going to try and fix it, but I do kind of feel like I'm polishing a turd territory right now. Marrow does that. It pisses me off. I want to see... What are you talking about? You're so real to me. Don't delete it and send it to me. Let me render it for funsies. You can if you want. Trin said she wanted to render it too, so it would be interesting to see how different people interpret it. To that note, you guys can honestly just grab any line art I've done. You just have and do whatever you want with it. Obviously, don't be like, this is my line art if you like post online, but you just... I'm always gonna seek your blessing. I don't want to be that guy. You could go for it, dude. Even the blessing granted. Alright, here's an idea I was thinking would look cool. What if you had a weaponless hand raised up, okay? Turn the palm towards his line of sight, and the hand blood-soaked. Hand raised up. Palm turned towards his line of sight. So, like, this. His line of sight's kind of weird. He's kind of got, like, a thousand-yard stare. He's kind of looking, like, this way. Cause I vibe with the vampire dude. I don't know why I fucking drew the line across his face like an idiot. Let me undo all that. That looks kind of awkward. Hey, look who's back. You still driving? We're peacing out soon anyways. I'm gonna go check. No, you're not still driving? Very nice. Oh, I think it's almost time to raid out, chat. Oh. God damn. I'm so eepy little boy. I'm actually not that tired right now. But I feel like it's the precursor, it's coming, you know? It's gonna be coming all over my face, and then my eyes are gonna be all heavy and shit. Mine's been each other. It was nice vibing with y'all till you said that. Okay. Can't win them all, you know? I'm gonna prep the raid. We're gonna raid into Milkyopi. Yesterday was her birthday. I meant to raid yesterday, I just totally forgot, and Yeti made a recommendation on a raid, so we went a different direction with it. We're gonna do that. Just say happy belated birthday, because it was her birthday yesterday. Let's set this up. Thanks for the stream, big dog. Anytime, homie. Anytime. I will catch you guys all in the next one, which is going to be Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. That way you can get live notifications. Go to the rules section, toggle on the live notification rule, and you're off to the races. Let me just change my audio so I can hear what the hell's going on. Let me raid over. Sing this song. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I almost fucking didn't write out. Oopsies. Bye-bye.